Hello and welcome back to another weekend preview on the Final Flight podcast. We're here once again with the lads and we've got a very special guest tonight, our competition winner Leroy. Good evening, mate. How are you?
Very good, guys. How are we? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, very well, mate. Congratulations on winning the competition. Thanks for entering for a start. We don't really get many entrants, so well done on that. We appreciate the support and glad to have you on. Are you looking forward to a decent card this weekend? I know you don't live too far from Kempton, do you?
I don't know. Looking forward to it. It's the last one. It's the last one before we get to the real good stuff at Cheltenham. So, yeah, looking forward to a good weekend. And I'm at Kim Bailey's yard on Saturday morning as well for a stable tour. So, I might see if I can sneak a couple of bits of Cheltenham insider info.
Fantastic. That'll be nice. I'll be making sure I'm pestering you on that day then on the old DM. But yeah, that's good to know. And like I say, a decent weekend at Kempton. I'll come to you, Rich. You've obviously sorted out a few things this week with me being a little bit of MIA out of action. But are you looking forward to a decent card at Kempton? And I've noticed you've obviously snuck in a certain flat race, which is very sneaky of you. You're looking forward to it, pal?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to give me full control, then I'm going to put what I want on the car.
Didn't take you long, did it? You give him an inch to take a mile, as they say.
It is a group race, in all fairness. So, yeah, looking forward to it. There's some good racing. Like I say, we are only, 3 weeks till Cheltenham, just under 3 weeks now. So, let's go.
Yeah, I'll come same to you, Joe, mate. I mean, obviously, we're not far off the big week now. And there'll be certain horses maybe been put away, but this is sort of the last weekend, Kempton Trials Day, where we get to see a few nice horses who might be going. But it's nice to get a decent weekend. What do you think? Looking forward to it?
Yeah, 100%, mate. This is just the appetizer, isn't it, for Cheltenham? But yeah, there's some good horses out, some nice handicaps to get stuck into, and it is great to see, Rich. I must applaud you on this one, mate. It's great to see some flat action back in the Final Flight podcast.
It won't be long. It'll be here.
Not at all, mate.
Yeah, well, enough said about that. We'll talk about that later on, and we can have a good conversation. But like I say, the flat won't be far off after Cheltenham. You know, once we get the big week out of the way, we'll start winding down and then looking at the flat, which is fair enough. I did enjoy it, to be fair, last season, getting into it a little bit more. So no doubt we'll have a lot of fun doing that, and we've got some big plans for that, haven't we, lads? So plenty to look forward to. Right, without further ado, I won't keep anyone who's watching waiting too long, but we're going to get stuck straight into it. I'm going to go for the 150, I believe, the Adonis Juvenile Hurdle. This is a tasty little race. You've got Khalif de Burley for the Cobden Nicholas team. Cobden obviously on form at the moment, going for the Jockey Championship. He's currently 10 to 11 on favourite. Give Me a 5, the Harry Durnham horse, who's obviously owned by the well-known golfers. Captain Marvelous, Peking Opera for the Gary Moore team, Swift Hawk, and then Tarantino. I'm going to let our competition winner, special guest, Leroy, kick us off, mate. This looks a tasty little juvenile race. What are your thoughts?
It does. There's a lot of pace on here, I think. Could be a real tactical affair. Something's got to go and something's got to drop. I think I heard something a couple of weeks ago about this Khalif de Burley. I'm seeing this as a Gold Cup horse already at the age of 4. So I think, I hate the phrase, but everything he does over hurdles as a bonus comes into play here. Debut win was very impressive. Didn't really do much wrong. I just, personally, I prefer just to have everything tuned up for the day, not in terms of fitness, but just like the aim. I know you've got to have plans with these horses, but talking about a Gold Cup horse at the age of 4, just, yeah, I don't know. Puts a little bit of a dampener on that for me. That said, plenty of pace. The one that stood out to me looking at the early decks is this Give Me 5. Was entered in the next race, Grade 2, admittedly over 2.5 miles, but that wasn't limited to just 4-year-old company. So if they're entering that in a race for 5 and 6-year-olds at Grade 2 level, novice, for me, they clearly think something of that horse. They've probably gone for the sensible option, I think. Give Me 5 for me. I can't see much of Peking Opera. I don't like Galileo's over National Hunt in the National Hunt game. I know they've won quite a bit of prize money, but yeah, Celestial Halo's your flagship horse there for that Bodiger line. I'm struggling with that. Looked reasonably impressive at Sandown, actually. But yeah, I'm not a fan. you've got to go with your gut, haven't you? I do quite a lot on visuals rather than everything. No real Galileo horse has really stood out to me as an absolute star. I'm going to go with Give Me 5. Swift beat the same horse by only 5 lengths last time out. Orchestra, Give Me 5 beat it 18 lengths. Solid for me. I think if you're taking on the favourite, 7-2, not a massive play, but pretty confident. Give Me 5.
Yeah, I mean, I like all your points there, mate, to be honest, and I'll jump in because I'm on Give Me 5 as well. I thought I was really impressed with that race at Warwick. I thought the way he just took off, and it was absolutely not for catching. And I do think, don't get me wrong, like you said there, I think Caliph de Burley is going to be a really nice horse in time. I just think, sort of Give Me a 5, obviously coming over from the flat, I just think he might have a little bit too much speed for this one, and he's going to be kind of aimed at these juvenile races with Caliph. I think, like you said there, it's key. Whatever he does over hurdles is probably a bonus. I think they're just happy to see how he gets on. But I think Give Me a 5 is going to be one that's fully ready to go for this. And I think also getting the £5 off Caliph de Burley, I think it was something to do with him winning a race over in France. I'm not sure if I'm right on that. But yeah, I think Paul O'Brien can let him take off in front. And I was kind of going to stick with him. I know, Rich, you nearly bought into Swift Art, didn't you? And you'll have your pitchfork out, anyone saying out about Galileo, won't you?
Not in the jump season.
But yeah, I'll go for Give Me 5 as well. I was impressed with that race last time out, and I think he's a very, very talented horse, and I'm interested to see how he gets on Saturday. Take it away, Rich, mate.
Unfortunately, I think you're both wrong. Caliph de Burley just wins this for me.
That's one favourite in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, he's no sort of a price, but he won on debut by 7.5 lengths, giving away weight. 1 second, I'll tell you how much he gave away. He gave away £8 to second and still won by 7.5 lengths. Third has come out and won since. He's proven on heavy ground. He won over in France. I'd be worried about the other horses on the. So I think it's going to be the right test. And yeah, Give Me 5, Peking Opera, Swift Talker, all ex-flat horses. And if you look at the flat form, they've all been racing on decentness conditions, like good to soft. I mean, Peking Opera was placed in a Group 3 in Nace, so 1 mile 3, rated 105. On flat form, he should beat Give Me 5, but it's an all different ball game. But yeah, I think Caliph de Burley, I just think he's solid.
Yeah, I mean, Give Me 5's last 2 wins were on soft. I don't think there'd be an issue with him handling it the way he seemed to handle it at Warwick, but kind of get where you're coming from.
Soft and there's national unsoft, like proper.
Yeah, it's only going to be soft. It's currently soft now. I don't think it'll be much worse, will it? Leroy, you all got far off it. Has it been chucking it down?
Yeah. But that said, it's not going to turn Chepstow heavy, is it, at Kempton? I think, you might, from memory, there might have been, I think their heavy is, you might get a little bit of splash up. I don't think Kempton typically gets completely attritional in heavy ground. I think it is now soft to heavy in places, I think, was the official going change today. So, yeah, there is lots of rain around. You will want mudlarks, but yeah.
Go on then, Joe. What are your thoughts, mate? Which way are you swaying?
I'm the same ball game as Rich, to be honest. I'm with the favourite here. I won't be backing him. He's pretty short. I know they think a lot of him. Like Leroy said, he goes back to Kempton where he won in his British debut, and he won that pretty well. Like I say, he gave away £8. The third's come out and won. And I know he won by 7 lengths, and Give Me 5 won at Warwick by, how many was it? 18 lengths against Orchestra.
Yep.
But I just think, there's a bit of form in behind Caliph de Burley. They've took him back to Kempton, in my eyes, for a reason. They don't want to rush him. They'll be hand-picking races for him that'll suit him. And I just think he's going to be one that ticks over this year. He might pick up a race after Cheltenham, an Aintree or somewhere like that. But for me, I think he's one that they're just going to take the time with. But I think he's just a class above these. Like I say, he's bred for this. He'll love any mud. He won over in France. I can't see him beat, to be honest.
Fair enough, mate. Like I say, it'll be an interesting juvenile race. You don't know what sort of rate they're all improving, so it'll be interesting to see which way it goes. Ellis has put a couple of comments up here. He's put, we didn't cover the handicap before, Ellis, but we'll have to try and get on to George to see if Mark of Gold's going to be having a dig on Saturday. But yeah, 2 for Give Me 5 and 2 for Khalif de Berlin. Lovely. Right then, the 227 Coral Pendle Novices Chase, Grade 2, over 2.5 miles. I'll come back the other way, Joe. You've got Blow Your Wad in here, Timoris, La Patron, Pembroke, Arclight, and Soul Icon. Another tight little novice chase. Which way are you shading on this?
Yeah, mate, it's very tight, to be honest. Has there been one taken out of this? I was disappointed. I did quite like Le Patron. He was 11-2. He's now into 4-1. But he won the Sandown, the 2 Sandown races back to back. The first one was over 2 mile 4, and then he won in December over 1 mile 7. That was the Grade 1. And then he went to Sandown back up in Trip. He just didn't seem to fire at all. Nickelback went off in front. It was a bit of a messy race. Obviously, Hermes, Allen fell. They were all pretty strung out. Nickelback just went forward and was never for catching. But, you know, we spoke to George and they really like this one. But I think they've sort of realised that before his form was over 2 miles and they thought the step back to 2 mile would have helped him. But it clearly hasn't. And I think it's, you know, they've turned him out pretty quickly. But if you look at the top 3, Blow Your Wad's 28 days, Timoris is 13, Le Patron's 21 days. I feel like Le Patron had not the easiest sort of run round, but he looked beaten a long way out. And I just think maybe he's going to be fresher than the top 2. Obviously, the money's come as well. The soft ground should suit. And yeah, quite like him. Like I say, I know it was over 2 mile, but he won at Sandown heavy ground. Yeah, I think he's well priced, but obviously the money's come. He was 11-2. He's now into 4's best price.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, it's a tasty little race. I mean, I suppose Le Patron has already beaten Blow Your Wad, although there is a pretty big weight swing in that, so I can kind of see why Blow Your Wad's kind of shading it in the market. Rich, sort of, it's a tough little one, you know. None of these really lighting up the scene. What do you think?
It's a little tricky sort of race, this. The 2 I've picked out, the first one is Arclight for Henderson. I mean, she's a mare. She's been unbeaten over fences, winning a listed contest last time at Wincanton. She gets weight from the whole field. I think that's going to be a positive with this sort of conditions. My main selection, though, I like the favourite, Blow Your Wad. He finished 6th at Cheltenham last time out against Ginny's Destiny, who I think we all think is going to be a player at Cheltenham in a few weeks' time. That was over 2 mile 4, the same distance on good ground, I think. He did finish 10 lengths behind Le Patron, but there was like a stone difference in that. And I think he actually gets, what's that? He's on 11 stone 2, Le Patron 11 stone 7, so he gets weight. I think he's got every chance to reverse that sort of form.
Yeah, Blow Your Wad was giving him £12. He's now getting £5.
Yeah.
A big swing, that like.
Yeah, it's a big old swing. He beat Outlaw P2, who's a horse I quite like at Kempton on his second chase start, giving him £3. I think that's quite decent. And he's also won at the course in his novice hurdles. So he's got course form. I just think he ticks a lot of boxes. But yeah, it's not one I'm really strong on because it's a tricky little race.
So is that Blow Your Wad you're going for?
Yeah.
Fair play. Come on then, Leroy. Before I go for mine, what are your thoughts on this? Are you sticking with a favourite or are you going to take him on?
I'm taking him on, I think. Yeah. Bit of a mug confession here. I did actually, I don't know if you saw that race at Thurles today with Stuart Edmonds' horse went over to Thurles, Marsh Wren, and really impressive. That was a really likeable performance over there. I did the double, didn't I? I did the form line double. Marsh Wren to win at Thurles and Arclight to win on Saturday. I don't have to really have a bet now. I can have Arclight running for me. Lightweight. Nico's chosen it. Yeah, I think you're going to struggle in a race like that to make up that kind of weight allowance in terms of giving away the weight. You'd like to think she's got a really, really good chance in that. Nico's probably going to come there swinging and find absolutely nothing in the ground. But yeah, that's the risk you take. I was taken with how Harry Cobden came off Timoris at Exeter. and said, I have no idea how we didn't win that race. Cribilli doesn't stack up as much to me. I think it ties in with Trelawn. Trelawn's got some decent form. With Ginny's Destiny again, I can't see Ginny's Destiny doing much at Cheltenham, in fairness. I think that's your Paddy Power in December next year winner, maybe. I can't see much doing at Cheltenham. I think that Timoris is going to take some beating. This, in my opinion, this is the class horse in the race. Will go further in time. Would you be surprised if any of these others were Grade 1 horses? I think I probably would. I wouldn't be surprised if Timoris ended up one.
Yeah, I thought Timoris looked a decent horse. The only thing that maybe shaded me away from him was just the way he kind of hung a little bit last time when he got caught up by that Cribilli. What was there an issue there? Is there something that maybe needs sorted? The one I landed on was actually Arclight. I've been really impressed with her the last 3 runs. She has a good to soft and a soft win. Like you say there, the form's been boosted a little bit by Marsh Wren. I think he's won a couple of times since. And I love the way she jumps. I just think she could be the type of horse that she gets in that sort of rhythm with Nico. I think she could be quite hard to peg back. And I think the rest of them are kind of been a little bit found out when giving weight away. And if it's going to be a tough going, I think she could be one to get around with that lightweight. So yeah, I'll stick with Arclight as well, guys. Love it. Right, I'll just quickly fire through some of these comments. Liv's on. Good evening, Liv. She's put, who's Ginny's Destiny? I only know Rocco.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not get into the old. Let's not start pulling trees up tonight because there'll be people staring at us. Craig's on. Good evening, Craig.
Yes,
Thanks
Craig.
for tuning in. Come on, the lads. And what's he put here? Everyone's shaking in their boots now. The boy in green and gold is back, baby. Yeah, he certainly is. And there's a guy called Ripe at Wild. There's more than 5 listeners on, mate. There's more than that. Don't you worry. And there's plenty on Twitter as well, so it's good to see. Right, boys. Let's move on to the 3 o'clock. Now, this is another very tough race, I thought, to maybe decipher, but we'll give it a go. The Dovecote Novices Hurdle, over 2 mile. Lump Sum, horse I quite like and have liked for the last few weeks. In as a favourite, Fiercely Proud, Secret Squirrel, one of the best looking horses in training. Panjari for the Cobden Nichols team, Willie the Builder, Hellwine, and Idy Wood. I'm going to let Rich go first this time to make it all fair. Have you deciphered this Grade 2 Novice Hurdle, mate? Take it away.
No, but it basically revolves around the Jericho de Repene form, doesn't it? I mean, there's 2 or 3 horses that have finished second behind him.
We were there that day, didn't we? And we had a little bit of a bet on him, didn't we? And we were worried for a little bit of time.
You were sweating at one point.
I was sweating a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Lump Sum, he's a previous win on heavy and soft. I think that's going to help. It was a strange ride with Doncaster, because he was out the back, and then all of a sudden he came through and made his challenge.
I don't think the good ground would definitely not have suited him. I don't think that he got pretty outpaced as well, didn't he? I thought.
Yeah, he's definitely a contender. He finished 2 lengths behind Jericho de Repene. I like the Secret School form, if honest with you. I mean, he's finished second to Fireflyer, who finished second to that Gidley Park. I think that's quite a decent horse. Again, Secret School finished second to Jericho at Newbury by nearly 2 lengths on soft. I think it's between those 2. I think is Lump Sum favourite.
Yeah,
yep.
15 to 8.
I think I'll chance Secret Squirrel then, since I've already picked two favourites so far. So we'll go with Secret Squirrel. But yeah, it's another tight race. I won't be going deep in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair comment. I mean, for me, I'm going to stick with Lump Sum. Now, I do think the race against Jericho, I thought it was one of them. He kind of looked held up out the back. I'm thinking, right, they maybe just want to place it in behind somewhere, not really affect his mark too much. I think obviously he's entered in the Coral and the Martin Pipe, which I do think he'd be a player in either of them. But I think for the Coral, he might have to go up a little bit in his rating. But I just think if it's going to be soft ground and we're talking more rain, I think it's only going to suit him. I think the form of his Wincanton win on heavy is working out quite well. He had a horse called 135 and out behind him who's come out and won. Lady Balco has come out and bolted up as well. So the form in there is pretty decent. Obviously, I've been on Secret Squirrel plenty of times. I think he's a very, very good-looking horse. But I think he might just struggle to win this. But I think I'll just stick with Lump Sum. He obviously beat Fiercely Proud in the Jericho race. And I just think back on soft ground or worse is going to suit him down to the ground. And if he can go and win this and get put up a few pounds, I think they won't mind that at all. And then it probably sets him up if they're going to have a crack at Cheltenham, which race they go for, if they do go. But yeah, I quite like Lump Sum, and I think I'll stick with him in this race. Leroy, are you in agreement with me, or are you thinking something different?
No, not in agreement, James. Sorry, mate.
All right.
I know this isn't a Cheltenham preview show, but if you needed any more reason to know that Jericho de Repene is not going to win the Supreme, it's the fact that he wouldn't look out of place in this. So it's not winning the Supreme.
Say that. You know what happened now you've said that?
Well, I'm willing to take it on. Just the fancy horses at the top of the market, isn't it? Just the ones that should be doing all they can in Grade 2 company. I just like, on this kind of ground at Kempton, I would like something that's a bit hardier. You know, top level handicap or something like that. That's probably in the future. I'm going to give Willie the Builder a shout at 12s. Form ties closely in with Lookaway. I think Lookaway is a really good hurdler. I think that's that's a decent rated horse there that runs closely with. Go Dante, obviously ran very, very well at Cheltenham in the same race. Mm-hmm. I think he just needs conditions to go right. Has one on good to soft, has one, I think, on soft ground as well, if you go further back. Doesn't have a lot to find, in my opinion. And at 12s, I'm willing to take a win-only punt.
I love that. Win only punt on a 12-1. I like it. Like you say, I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, got 7 runners, so you might as well go win only. Yeah, I mean, like it is a tight race, and you just don't know what's going to come out and take the bull by the horns, as you say. So I think that's not a bad shout as well. And Skelton's in a bit of form at the moment. Joe, what are you thinking here? Which way are you going to side?
I'm sticking with Rich. I'm a big fan of Secret Squirrel.
What's happening here? You're still on song tonight. You've been you got your own WhatsApp group without me. Is that what it is?
I'll tell you what, it's the jockey booking as well. We've seen this before on Crambo, and we're seeing it here as well. David Bass has been taken off. Jonathan Burke's been put on, who is a very, very good jockey. I think he's very underrated, to be honest. Obviously, he ran at Taunton against Fireflyer. I didn't think David Bass gave him the best ride, to be honest, but the form looks pretty good. I think he is a very fast horse, to be honest, and I think the step back in trip is the right thing to do. He was only beaten 1 3/4 lengths by Jericho de Repene on his second start. Sorry, no, it wasn't. It was his second start over hurdles on soft ground, and I just think in a race like this that's pretty wide open, I think 2 miles is very, very appealing for me. For Secret Squirrel, I think the step back in trip is a good thing, and I really like the jockey booking of Jonathan Burke. To be honest, I think he's the horse with the most sort of potential in this field, to be honest with you. I really like him. I know the money come against Firefly, didn't it? They were both sort of favourites, chopping and changing, and Nichols really thinks a lot of Fireflyer. And yeah, like I say, the jockey booking as well, taking David Bass off and putting Jonathan Burke on, who's sort of, I feel like Jonathan Burke's a bit unlucky. He doesn't have a proper, he's not with a trainer, is he? And he picks up the odd good graded race when he can. And a lot of trainers are using him when they're taking off a claimer or something like that, putting him on, and he's repaying them. And I think he's going to do exactly the same here, to be honest.
Yeah, so I suppose to get a little bit of debate going, I mean, my question to you and Rich would be, would the ground not worry you with it in most of his winning form, best coming on decent ground?
No, not really.
Go on.
I mean, I know obviously he's a course and distance winner, and at Newbury that day it was pretty soft, and obviously he's come 1 3/4 lengths behind Jericho de Repene, who how many lengths was Lump Sum behind?
Yeah, but to be fair, I'd say that he won that on the bridle pretty much, did Jericho against Squirrel, where they were all out against Lump Sum.
Oh yeah, 100%. But obviously it was Secret Squirrel's first test, should you say. Obviously, he won on his hurdles debut over 5 lengths, but if you watch it again, he won it pretty easily. It was the first time he had to sort of, get after it and work for it, and I thought he kept on pretty well. I have no problem. Like I say, the step back and trip, the change of the jockey, they're definitely going for it, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I pretty fancy him, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. You got else to say, Rich? I think Lump Sum absolutely batters him, me.
Do you have a match?
I'll have a match, but yeah, I think Lump Sum he'll handle it better. That's what I think. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he handles the ground, but I think if you compare the Jericho form, I just think Firefly is a good horse as well. I just think that potentially he might just improve a bit more.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Certainly going to be an interesting one, and I like that I'm taking you on most of the night tonight, so I'm happy with that anyway. Craig's put a comment up here. What's he put here? No Apple away chat tonight, lads. What's going on? Now, if John's watching, your arch nemesis, Craig. It's all good.
We're not covering many handicaps, are we? So we don't really want to talk about it.
We're not covering grade. We're not covering 4 mile handicaps on tonight's show.
We don't do class 5s, do we? On this.
We're only joking, John. If you are listening, she's still a decent horse. Right then, come on then. The Coral Trophy, the 337, the big Premier Handicap Chase, Phlegmatic at 5-1, Forward Plan 7-1, Tweed Skirt, Blackjack Magic, and sort of bigger the rest. Again, another tough one to decipher. So I'm going to let Leroy kick us off, mate. Have you managed to have a scan through this, and what are you fancying?
I have. I think this is, if my day's going all right, this could be the big race, which sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? 3 mile handicap, now Kempton. However many runners. How many are there in this? 12?
12 runners, yeah. 12 runners.
If I'm hoping, I'm not a massive Sam Twiston-Davies fan.
Come on, Leroy.
I'm not a massive fan, and I'm just hoping that if I can be nice to him for once, then he might do me some favours on Blackjack Magic. This horse, I think, will take a hell of a beating in this race. Form ties in with 3 under through 5. Very impressive at the weekend. Needs to jump better. Does need to jump better. Too many mistakes are costly. You can see some horses, they get away with the odd one, put themselves right. Blackjack seems to make a crunching mistake at the wrong time. I'm just hoping Sam can just get him going early enough, swinging around the bend at Kempton, fly the last 2, and don't get caught. It's tough. It's a hell of a race. The ground's not going to help. Il Ridoto will probably go relatively forward, I would have thought. Harry's in form of his life, isn't he? I mean, how good is Harry Cobden at the moment? He's the main threat, I think. But it's a good race. Blackjack Magic for me. I think it's 2 out. Jump if it pings 2 out, won't get caught. Lovely racing weight. It's probably a 150 horse, I think, which then puts it at festival territory for the big handicaps there. Paddy Powers, etc., etc. If he wants to drop back and trip, he can. He's versatile enough. The ground's fine for him. What isn't to like, guys?
Yeah, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head through this. I mean, I'm going to swing to Joe then because I feel like I might have the same sort of idea. And I think a few of us might have ended up on, pardon the pun, but magically ended up on the same horse. So I'll let you go, Joe.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I really like this one. And to be fair, I am a pretty decent fan of Sam Twiston-Davies, and I know Craig is, and I've just seen his comment. I'm surprised he hasn't picked this one. But yeah, his form looks pretty good. I mean, if you go back to his Wincanton form over 3 mile 1, he beat 3 under through 5, who come out and won the Ascot handicap the other week, off top weight, 12 stone. And I just feel like he's been running over good, and the last time he ran on soft or heavy ground, he won at Exeter over 3 mile. Fair enough, he was pulled up at Uttoxeter, but I believe he hit one, and that's where I sort of tie in with Leroy. I think maybe again the jockey change of Sam Twiston-Davies is a tactical one, and it's more of you need to get him out, use your experience in the handicaps in the big races. Obviously they do fancy him putting Sam Twiston-Davies on. I feel like he's a horse that needs a rhythm. You need to get him in a good jumping rhythm. It could go brilliant or it could turn nasty. But he's been racing off 139. He's off 138 here, but there's a few horses in here who he is getting weight off. I think he is probably one of the best. I mean, El Redondo is a danger, but given Blackjack Magic £9 is a decent bit of weight. And I just feel like if it can go right and he can get in a rhythm, Sam Twiston-Davies could have a field day here. Obviously, it is going to be tough with 12 runners round Kempton, but if he can just, I wouldn't be too bothered if he just sort of stuck him slightly wide and just said, look at your fences and just get in a rhythm. But yeah, I think 8-1 is a pretty decent price, to be honest. I'm surprised he's that big.
Should be favourite.
Yeah, I mean, when you go through it like you guys have there, and I didn't have a big long look at it, but it is the bit of a standout, like you say, form. Not beating Faber Victorino, beating 300 through 5, is beating Real Stone. I mean, it's decent form. And Sam Twiston-Davies, when he gets on one of these, he just seems to land these sort of races. I do really like him as a jockey, and I think he's got a really good chance. I mean, Craig's put in the comments, he thinks Forward Plan's got a good chance. But I do think he's got quite a lot to make up with Blackjack Magic based on the last time they matched each other, even though there's a little bit of a weight swing in there. But yeah, I think I'd probably be on Blackjack Magic as well. And I do like a decent each way price, 8-1. I don't think it's a bad price there at all. And my days, if Rich has got the same one, then we're on to an absolute GSI nap of the weekend style pick out with here, Rich. Or are you on Phlegmatic? Is his favourite?
No. So I am also on Blackjack Magic.
Oh my God! I need to have a media that pops up saying like, warning.
It's interesting. Like I'll not repeat most of the comments because they're all pretty much bang on. But they're going for first time blinkers, which I think will just sharpen him up because, like Leroy said, he is prone to a mistake at the second last that just kind of wipes his race out. I was quite interested in the Ascot form. Like he finished 4th in December, where the favourite, is it Phlegmatic, finished 3rd by a length, but Blackjack was giving him £1, and this time round he actually gets £2 from the favourite. So I feel like he's going to reverse that form all day long. The first time blinkers have added to sharpen him up. Like I say, he's got form with 300 through 5. For some reason, I just think he wins. He just wins. Forward Plan, like you say, we were there at Doncaster. He was very unlucky, but it's completely different conditions. I don't think he'll handle the soft heavy. Il Redondo, I think he tries 3 miles for the first time. We watched that race with Brian on board. He was very tired at the end. Maybe he just went off too fast, but I'm not 100% sure he'll stay. Blackjack Magic just ticks a lot of boxes. It's just a case of will he make that error that kind of just puts an end to it. But yeah, I think he's pretty solid.
You were going to say something, Joe?
Yeah, I was going to say it's a podcast nap. Get all your money on it, and all the viewers.
Always bet responsibly, guys. Come on, we always push that. But I mean, I think he'll land on the ground. He's won on soft and he's won on heavy before, hasn't he, as well? So I don't think he's You what, Joe?
I was waiting for you to say, yeah, bet responsibly, but we all really, really fancy him. He should bowl up.
I mean, we all fancy it, obviously, and we're all going to have a bet on it, and hopefully it wins. I'm not saying put the mortgage on. I mean, I have, but I wouldn't advise it. I've got the mortgage money on the Arclight Black Magic double. Back on my charity bet, actually. Sometimes when you think of a bet just off cuff like that, that's how. You remember when I landed that massive treble, Rich, for the charity bet? Do you remember that? You
not mentioned it. I don't know.
What was the treble, James? I can't remember.
It was White Rhino, Shanna Bob, and what was the last one? Oh yeah, Nurse Susan. Unbelievable treble. What a day. Love it. Anyway, right. So John's jumped on. He thinks Swift Hawk's going to go close. Outsider tuned in late. No worries, John. If you tuned in late, you missed all the Apple Away talk earlier. We said how much she'll improve for a bit further in distance. You can let me know what you think. And he's put, what's happened to Joe's hair? I don't know either.
You know what? It's split. It's split in the middle. Obviously, I'm growing it a bit longer, so I've got to do something with it at the minute. However, I would say if it has declined, it's declined like Apple Away because she's a handicapper.
Oh, dear, I love it. Great comment. Love it. Brilliant. Then I'm sure John will have some sort of comeback for that, and I can't wait to see what he puts. And no arguing between you and Craig in the chat either. Right then, so we're going to switch over to Chepstow now. We've obviously got another Pertemps Network handicap. I don't know if this is. I think this is the last one, or there might be one more after this. I can't remember.
There's one in Ireland. I think this is the last one in the UK.
This is the last one. Fair enough. Monmiral then's currently in favourite. Absolute turnip of an horse, if you ask me. But Walking on Air for James Bowen and Nicky Henderson. I can't even pronounce that. Rich, how do you pronounce that?
Alaphilippe.
Alaphilippe, that'll do me. Glimpse of Gala, Collect. I've got no prices, so I won't go through them all. But you've actually got Supremely West in here, who's form-tising with the mighty Making Headway. Come on then, Leroy, as the big guest, special guest. Another Pertemps qualifier. Who's going to want to win this? Who's going to want to qualify and not get close? What do you think?
I don't think anyone's going to want to run, are they? I just can't see. If you look at the top of the weights, you've got Monmiral, Walking on Air, and Alaphilippe. I cannot see all three of them running. Chepstow heavy ground is atrocious going.
Especially this close to Cheltenham. That's a quick
turnaround.
Turnaround.
Anything that runs a good race in this race, you can put a line through at Cheltenham, almost certainly. You are not getting a horse running on Chepstow heavy, winning at the festival on any ground. I can't see why you would. Top of the weight, so they're good horses who should really be aiming for festival races. You could say maybe that their preps have been broken up and they've had some challenges to overcome throughout the season. They haven't been able to qualify for certain races or be entered in certain races. But I just can't be having any of them carrying that big a weight on that kind of ground. I like the form lines. I think how Largy Poet runs in the 1:15 at Kempton will determine what I do in this race. Manila Blue Way, good racing weight, 10 stone 8, does have something to find, definitely. You would think, given connections, that this is a race that they won't be thinking like me and that we've got no chance at Cheltenham if they can get qualified for it. But I just think, the distance is worth a go, point-to-point form. We'll like it, softer the better. And stuffed Largy Poet at Chepstow 2 runs ago by double figure lengths. I think it's either 10 or 12 lengths or something like that. Claimer on board. That's a slight concern for me, probably. I don't know where Adam Wedge is. I haven't really had a look at the rest of the Chepstow card. I don't know whether he's injured, suspended, or
injured. He's injured his Wedge.
Is he?
Yeah.
Claimer makes sense then, but I'd want a better Claimer probably. I think all in, not a race for me. I cannot stand this Pertemps qualifying malarkey. just make it a 3 mile handicap at the Cheltenham Festival and be done with it. Seeding at 145 or whatever you want to do with it, but qualifying, geez. Manila Blue Way. I don't even know what price it is actually. Should probably have a look at that.
I've not got prices up, so I don't know what prices they are. But I mean,
12 on Sporting Life.
Oh, the odds on then. Absolutely shocking, them Sporting Life forecasts.
There's one definitely not going as well. I think you've got Bells of Peterborough is actually due to run at Exeter tomorrow. So you're down to 11. I don't think Bells of Peterborough have much of a chance in it anyway. But although the jockey booking has been confirmed, but meant to race tomorrow. It's engaged at Exeter in the full 10 tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, there it's these Pertemps qualifiers that they're always tough to decide because you don't know what's trying to win and what's trying to get qualified and blah 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 and things like that. But believe it or not, I mean, I've backed that Manila Blue Way before, and he was the one I kind of landed on purely in the fact that I think they'll be trying to win this if they want any chance of getting into the Pertemps. I think they'd have to win and qualify and go up in the weights. Off 119, I think that would probably be too low. Somebody might be able to correct me that if it's the case, but I think the lowest last year was like 121 or something, and that, you'd have to go up a couple to at least get a chance of going in. So I think they'll be wanting to win this and go in. And like you say, you're looking at the top of the market, and if any of them do run, they're not going to be wanting a hard race for a start, which it will be. 3 mile slog over heavy ground at Chepstow, it's going to be tough. And I didn't really like much of the rest, so I kind of went with Manila Blue Way as well, and Supremely West has obviously been beaten pretty well the last couple of times, once by Cuthbert Dibble, who's obviously come out and has won that race. And I just thought Manila Blue weight off a low weight with a claimer on. Isabella, who was a very good jockey. She could do a decent steering job. And I just think he'll be there to win. Like I say, a 3 mile point winner in the past. I don't think he'll mind the ground. His points form was on heavy and soft. So yeah, I think he'll be giving it a decent crack. Where the rest you don't know. So I'll take Manila Blue way each way. What about you, Rich?
I like these sort of races. So my thoughts on this race.
We rarely get them right, though, to be fair, don't we?
That's true. I like them. Doesn't mean I'm right. So there's two in here that I quite like. You've got Walking on Air, not currently qualified, running off 139. He finished 5th in the last year's Pertemps off 138. He made his chase debut end of December, in the handicap of 138, finishing a net second to Henry's Friend, who obviously won the Grade 2 at the weekend, I think it was. I think it's quite interesting that he's had one row over fences and now the back over hurdles for this. I just wondered if, because he's not qualified, they want to get him qualified again to see if he can have another crack at it. The one that
suppose really, they want to be winning, though, would be the question. Or you want to be sneaking into 4th.
These two selections are ones where you probably want to back top 4 places just so they qualify rather than straight win.
Oh, we're not going with you're not putting up place bets in a Pertemps qualifier here. It's come on.
I'm just giving you my thoughts. The one that is interesting that I do quite like is Al Philippe for Fergal O'Brien. So he's not qualified either, and Fergal hasn't got an entry currently qualified for the Pertemps. This is his last chance to get a horse in the race. They tried chasing at the start of the season and they switched back to hurdles end of January. I was at Cheltenham in November where he pulled up, and to me that run was just a case, looked to me like they want to get his mark down because he was running off 138. He's down to 135 now. He finished second off 138 in last year's Pertemps. I just feel that I think they want to qualify him, and if he does go up a couple of pounds, he'll be on the same weight that he was last year, and only finished the next second. I just think they've got this race planned out since last Pertemps, and I think that's the plan.
We've beaten 33 lengths by Apple away, Rich. I can't believe you're putting him up. He's got absolutely no chance. He'll come last.
He's the Langer Dan of the Pertemps.
If he's been beaten 33 lengths behind Apple away, he should be rated about 80.
They want to get the mark down. That's what they've been doing all season, getting his mark down to have another crack at the Pertemps off 138. He'll win this or run well, go up a couple of pounds, run off the same mark in the Pertemps, and they'll go close. There you go. You heard it here first.
At least we do know that he won't win the Pertemps, though, don't we, Rich? But we'll keep that for
I'm not backing for the Pertemps. I'm just telling you how this race.
We know what wins the Pertemps, don't we, Rich? But we'll keep that for another day. Come on then, Joe. Obviously, a tight little race to decipher. Which way have you side? Are you at the top of the weights, the bottom? What do you think?
Yeah, I absolutely hate these races, to be honest with you, mate. But
these are the bread and butter races, guys. Heavy ground, Chepstow, 3 mile.
But I am pretty keen on one, and it's collector's item. You've got to go back to his point-to-point form, but he finished 2 lengths behind Lookaway, and he beat Conchetto, who's now at the Greenall and Guerrero yard by 12 lengths. His hurdle form looks pretty good. He went to Cheltenham in a Grade 2, albeit he was beaten quite well. But, we've all been caught, Hermes Allen in there. He was obviously pretty well tried. He was behind Making Your Mind Up. I know his form hasn't worked out very well. But then you go to his last start.
He did win last time, Making Your Mind Up, to be fair.
Yeah, his last start over hurdles. He got beat by Trolane, who isn't a bad horse now, and that was rated 132. Then he went chasing, and it hasn't really worked out at all. And this is his first drop back into hurdles, and he's off 130. So he hasn't been dropped much, but he's been dropped £2. John Joe's flying, both John Joe's, Junior and King John Joe, and I just feel like the soft ground might suit, but he was over 3 miles. Before he switched to chasing. His point-to-point form looks very good. He's got little bits of form in there, handicap-wise, that's went on to do decent things. he didn't take to chasing at all. You know, even when you just scan through his chasing runs, you know, it was hit one, made a mistake here. He didn't, you know, there was always a mistake in him. And I feel like back over hurdles, you know, you see it quite a lot, the switch back, and he's obviously switched in a handicap here. And like you say, whether whoever's going for the race will want to win or, you know, will they all run, I'm not too sure. But I think this lad's been put in the race to win, to be honest. I will give a little shout out to Supreme New West. Craig tipped him the day I was in Carlisle at 74 and he went up and won by like 12 lengths or something on, and that was heavy ground. I know he's been beaten well since, but he's off a ridiculously low mark here, and he's got a claim on taking £5 off.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're obviously big fans of making headway, and you know, it'd be good to see where he ends up. And I recommend everyone tunes into the Cheltenham preview, which we'll be announcing later on in the week. But yeah, it's one of them races. Just trying to look what's trying to. I mean, there's quite a few in there that are looking at coming back over from fences, which is always a bit of a question mark. But we'll see how they all get on, and I can't wait to watch the absolute slog through the Chipstone mud. It'll be a fantastic watch. Right then, the last couple of races then. Rich has, for some reason, put this absolute yak of a race over in Ireland in here. Fairyhouse, the Bobby Joe Chase. Grade 3, you've got William
Irish fans.
For all the Irish viewers, obviously. In fact, I'll just put a couple of comments up here. What's John put here? He's put, keep stroking that hair, Joe. It's lovely. Apple Away will have her day. You keep knocking her. To be fair, I mean, we're only knocking for a bit of fun, John. We obviously know she's a decent horse. I would probably say she didn't quite get her ideal conditions. I don't know what you might think, but she probably wants a hell of a lot softer ground. And
in the nicest way possible. In the nicest way possible, John. I think your best. Don't listen to me, but I think your best bet is skipping Cheltenham like last year and going to Aintree, because you might pick something up there. But I just feel like Cheltenham.
Cheltenham's excellent chase.
To be fair, she has ability. She has ability. She's obviously, I mean, a lot of people dream to have a share in a horse like that, wouldn't they? So fair play.
Get it stayers.
I just don't think she wins at Cheltenham, but she's obviously very talented. There's no denying that. I just think she maybe wants a bit further, a bit softer ground. I mean, the race at the weekend or the other day, it come up a bit quick in the end, didn't it, the ground? So what's this, James? Opinions on when Apple Bay beat Irocco at Aintree. I mean, to be fair, Liv, we've gone over this over and over again. I always say, I'll get your opinion actually, Leroy, if you want. I always say put that sort of Aintree form in the bin in a way, because when you've got horses who go to the Cheltenham Festival and then back up at Aintree against horses who haven't been to the festival and are probably a little bit fresher, and the form they kind of get turned over, I always say I kind of take it with a pinch of salt. What do you think?
I mean, we see it on, you know, we've heard a lot of horses.
You realise you were called Leroy, Joe?
Oh, sorry.
I just said Leroy.
No, mate, you crack on.
Go on, Joe. Fly away, mate. Fly away.
We have heard a lot of, like, you know, of horses, and we've had a few trainers on and jockeys. They all say, don't they? You know, like a horse is only peaked for a certain couple of days, you know, with the feed they're on and the training. Obviously, you know, Irocco's had a tough race at Cheltenham. Any handicap at Cheltenham's tough. It was a hustle and bustle. You've seen the way he got up after the last. It takes him out of the horse. Go on, Leroy. You back me up, please.
It's the same with Punchestown, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get some shockers at Punchestown. Form is. I mean, look at Galloping to Shop with Fast or Slow. I mean, they're not even two comparable horses, are they? Really, in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Do you want me to go on about Irocco? Do you want me to tell you that there's no logical way that a horse with that setback runs and wins at the Cheltenham Festival whatsoever?
Are you against Irocco? Are you against Irocco? Let me mute you. Hang on.
Well, it's been nice having you on, Leroy.
He only had a couple of months off work. It's not that.
Yeah, look, talented horse, of course he is, but you can't go to the Cheltenham Festival with no prep.
Constitution Hill is.
He's been in work though. Since
Irocco's been in work.
Also, Constitution Hill has had 2 non-runner engagements because of bad ground. Everyone jumps on Nicky's back, don't they? I know we're digressing, but you know, he never runs the best horses. Well, he was entered at Newcastle, and what was the race before that as well? Can't remember.
It's supposed to go Sandown.
Was it Sandown and Newcastle?
Both Sandown went in. It was ridiculous ground.
Yeah, well, I think they were both called off. I mean, Newcastle was called off, wasn't it?
Newcastle called off, and they just didn't run him at Sandown. We all know what an absolute.
Yeah, what can he do when there's no races to run him in? Rocco's been in a box, hasn't he, for 3 months?
No, he had about a month off, and he went back into JP's, and the vets and that give him all the go ahead, and he's been back in full work for a while now. Right. This is what I mean. I had this sort of argument with the complete one. So people think he's being rushed back for Cheltenham, but that's just not the case. They won't go unless he's 100%. And don't get me wrong, the question mark is, can you go off a layoff sort of thing? But I think it's one of them. It goes well. It does go well, pretty fresh. I do think, the race isn't that. You said earlier on, Ginny's destiny. What's Ginny's destiny? Is that who we've got to beat? What's Willie going to do? Is he going to send Gaelic or Facile Vega there? Grey Dawning might step back.
The unknown for me.
I'd say that is the one thing. There's a few races this year at Cheltenham when you look, and there is some. We had Marine in there who was a short price, and I loved him, and I still do. But there's a few races now, like the Ryanair, like the Turners, like the Arkle. Previous years you've had El Fabiolo and John Bonner were two classy animals. Allaho in there who's dominated short price, the banker of the week. This time you've got the question marks on every horse. To be fair, they're wide open, aren't they? They really are. That's why we love Cheltenham, and that's why we love the green and the gold.
Like I say, we all have good fun on the old Twitter. It's a good laugh, having a good debate. But I just think it's
more than
people were sort of calling it. So it was out for the season. Now suddenly he's back. I said, well, you got to think. They are up and coming yard, and when you've got a superstar like Iroko, who's like the flag bearer of the yard, if they had any sort of doubt for him, they were always going to say, he's probably out for the season, let's not rush him. And he's just come back quicker than they expected, and they're not rushing him back at all because he is the best horse in the yard, and you won't rush him back. If he weren't right, you won't send him, you know what I mean? They're not going to risk anything. So, I mean, there's a couple of, I'm having a bit of a giggle at some. Liv and John are having a right, Barney, in the old chat. About Iroko versus Applewhite. I'll stick this one up here. Yeah, John. Iroko beats Applewhite by 40 lengths on the bridle blindfolded. I love that. But yeah, I think it'd be a good race.
Number one fan.
You what, Rich?
That number one fan versus number one fan.
I'm gonna say it'd be a right battle. This. I wonder what conditions around Cheltenham these two would want. But yeah, I think he's got a chance. If he lines up, he's got a right chance. It'd be interesting to see who Willie sends. What he does with Facile and Gaelic Warrior, and obviously Factor File, we're thinking is going to go the Browns now. But yeah, we shall see. If he lines up, I'm happy to be on him, and fingers crossed. Because I tell you now, all money aside, I will have an absolute field day on Twitter. I hope everyone's ready for the day. Because if he does win, there'll be hell on, and if he doesn't win, well, it was a nice prep for probably entry or something like that, and he deserves.
You got him at a decent price, James.
We might have him on at a decent price. Yeah, we might have backed him early on in the season and covered him for all the races. We've got a pretty decent bet on, haven't we, Rich?
Yeah, Iroko El Fabiolo double's quite tasty.
Yeah, that was one of them that we put on, but we've got him at a decent price. We covered him for all. Well, we covered him for Browns initially, but then when we sort of thought we best cover him for Turners before he went at Warwick, and obviously that was the case.
Then we started covering for the Arkle.
Then we started backing him for the Arkle just in case. Luckily, we're pretty big on the exchange. We didn't take a lot. We don't put much on, like we're not talking stupid bets. But yeah, he's the nice one to have in the book. And
not talking just stupid bets. James, you didn't get your lad any Christmas presents?
He isn't getting Christmas presents if Iroko don't win. That's what it is.
Oh, sorry.
But no, I'll put it this way: if you don't win, I'm out on the street. Anyway, right, moving on. Last couple of races. That's enough for Rocco talk. There'll be plenty of that in a couple of weeks, anyway. Right then, where are we? The Bobby Joe Chase then, and then we'll finish on the other race that you've mentioned. I am Maximus, Vanilla, Manila Crooner, Fury Road. What a race! Rich, you put it in. I'll let you go first. Who wins this?
I am Maximus wins, doesn't he? I mean, Willie Mullins, I think, is one of the last 6 or 7 runners of this race. It's basically the Bobby Joe, Willie Mullins chase, practically. Yeah, I am Maximus is one I like. I mean, he's finished behind Fast or Slow and Galloping the Champs last time out. They're two really decent horses. Again, he's finished behind Capodanno, Jerry, Galloping again. there's nothing like that in this sort of field. I mean, you've got Vanillier, who's probably going to be a player in the Grand National. This is probably just going to be a prep run for that. And I can't have Fury Road on Manila Kakuna. So, yeah, there you go. Iron Maximus wins.
Cheers for that, mate. I appreciate that. Joe, you on the same boat?
Yeah, to be honest, right, I feel like Rich is just putting this in so you can have another favourite. Because when you look through Vanillier, like Rich said there, his big days coming.
You want winners. There you go.
Winners.
Winners.
No, Fury Road,
Worry
no.
about the price afterwards.
Has the form. He likes the heavy ground. He should be winning this.
Are you in agreement, Leroy?
No.
Did you even? Oh, you're not in. All right, okay.
No. One I definitely wouldn't back is Vanillier. They're running this because they don't know whether it's right to run in the Grand National. That was a stinker at the DRF by Vanillier. They would 100% be expected. I don't care what trip they're running him over in that. I know it's way below. It was 2 miles short of his optimum trip. I don't care what trip they're running him over. That was a stinker from him. I think they're trying to get another running in to see if he can actually take his place in the Grand National. And it's 7-4. Not for me. I really like Minella Crooner. For the simple reason that I think Gordon Elliott a couple of years ago maybe spoke really highly of him. And I always get them confused between Manila Kakuna and Manila Crooner. Kakuna's with
There's a lot of Manillas
Willie,
flying about, isn't there?
Yeah, Kakuna's with Willie. I just think this is probably his race. I know he's got an entry in the Grand National, but the winner gets a fair kudos for winning a Grade 3, don't they, over in Ireland. Iron Maximus, I think. Would you think you can give away £9 to Manila Crooner?
It's a lot of weight to give away.
Heavy ground, Fairy House, 3.25 miles. Yeah, up 11-4. I think if you gave me 6-4 Iron Maximus with my free bet or 11-4 Manila Crooner, I'd be going with the Manila.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a race I've looked at. I mean, Jack Kennedy's absolutely flying at the moment, so I'm happy to give him a chance. I'm not really into backing Iron Maximus at a 64 favourite. So, again, with my £5 free bet, I think I'll go with Manila Crooner as well. I think he'll probably handle the conditions. Jack Kennedy, like I say, is flying at the moment. Gordon Elliott, I think he could sneak this one in. There's no riding in here, obviously, for Townend because it's JP. But yeah, we'll see how that one goes. Not much to say on this. I need to just have a quick look at these chat before we move on to the last race. It's kicking off in here big time. What we got here? John's putting here, look. Irocco, yeah, right. 40 lengths match bet. Giving Apple away 40 lengths of start. She's already beaten him. Grey Dawn's class horse. Now, he did beat Apple easily. And what's Liv said? John, you are what they call delusional. She skipped Cheltenham while Sirocco won the Martin Pipe, still only beating 3 lengths. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the entry race as well was Sirocco's first 3 mile. They weren't too sure if he'd even stay, but obviously he did pretty well. And I think we're going to have to let them two crack on and do their own thing in the chat. I think they'll. Do you want to swap numbers, you two, and you can text each other?
Charity boxing match. All funds going to injured jockeys.
Oh dear, I tell you what, I'd rather watch them do a 2 mile round Cheltenham or something and see who wins.
Why don't we get a race course gallop somewhere, and we'll charge £5 entry, and all the fees go to the.
John can have 40 lengths of start.
Yeah.
Anyway, John, I'd go to war for Rocco. Yeah, a few of us would do. But anyway, right then. So the last race, then. I mean,
the main race, Rich.
Main race of the day.
I mean, Leroy feels sick. I'm hoping you feel sick about this, Leroy. We've obviously got the Winter Derby Stakes.
What a
At
race.
Southwell or Southwell, whichever way you want to pronounce it. 1 mile 3 flat race, all weather.
It's a Group 3.
You've
been
got
a
a
long
Group
time.
3, 4-year-old plus 56 grand to the winner. They're going left. Which way around are they going, Rich? You've got Lord North in here with Robert the Handbrake Havlin on. You've got Military Order, Daniel Tudhope. I'm assuming you're backing that, Rich. I'm gutted you haven't got your Godolphin hat up on the back, actually.
It's over there. It's just.
Still need to get you on the Gilet. We still need to see the Gilet. I hope we're going to see Gilet up first episode of the flat season.
I'll try.
Tirrarian Sea, Eden, Claymore, Forest of Dean. I'm going to let you take it away since you love the flat so much. give the lads a flat winner and
Well,
lasses.
as the flat's nearly back, I'll give you some trends for this. So 75% of winners were aged 4 to 6. Only 33% were favourites. 83% of winners were top 3 in the market. 58% had run within 63 days. And 91 were rated 106 or higher. So yeah, you've got Lord North top of the market. He's odds on, I think, but he's 8 years old now. His last run was
13 to 8,
326
Rich, best
days.
price.
Sorry?
13 to 8, best price.
It's not bad. I mean, he's the highest rated. He's rated 128. You've got Military Order second, rated 109. He's got £11 to find. In theory, Lord North is a Group 1 winner. Theoretically, he should be winning this, but I feel this is the prep run for the Maidan race that he won last year. I mean, he finished second, I think, a couple of years back off like 330 odd days. So it's not beyond him to come win this. I'm just going to side with Godolphin's Military Order. I know he's got something to find on ratings, but he ticks most of the trends. He's aged 4, last one within 30 days. He finished head second to Enemy last time out in the trial. I mean, he was touted as a potential Derby horse last season. Obviously, he bombed out and he didn't really like the step up and trip to 1 mile 6, but Godolphin seemed to be flying. I just checked there. They're up to 4. In fact, Appleby, I think, is 47% in the last 14 days. 9 winners from these last 19 rides, and Godolphin are 20%. So I'm going to chance Military Order, I think.
Go on then, Joe, you were in the same, but sorry, I totally blanked out then. I seem to fall down the crack of the matrix then for about 5 minutes. Joe, you on Military Order as well?
Rich, give me a fist bump. I am I am on Military Order. Obviously, there was
You've seen these two, Leroy. Have you heard these two? Like shuffling schoolgirls.
There was a lot spoke about this horse, and he beat Waipero on the start before his Southern run back, who went on to win at Royal Ascot, the Group 3, and then I believe he went abroad. His run at Southall, the form looks pretty decent. Sabuska was in behind. Base Note was in behind. He rallied very well. The Foxes was in behind, who won at York, the Group 2. What race was it? The Dandy. The day we were there. Then he went at the Belmont, the Grade 1, and he was lucky there. He was drawn in the car park. Like you said, Danny Tudhope was on at Southall. He's back on here. He's at 27% in the last 14 days. Charlie Appleby's 47% in the last 14 days. They're absolutely flying. He fits the trends. He's drawn pretty well in 1. I think he'll take all the beating. However, Lord North is a bit of a freak. But I cannot back a horse on the all-weather with a professional handbrake on board. Rob Havlin.
So, Military Order. Leroy, are you bothered about the flat? Are you a flat fan? What are your thoughts on the race? Have you had a look?
Yeah, I love the flat in the summer. It's too bloody cold though in a minute, isn't it? Do you know what it's like? It reminds me of when you go to your local and there's a young group of people in there and they're all having a good time listening to music and you just sat there in the old gits corner, miserable as hell, just like how dare they have good fun? I could care less. I literally could care less about this race. I think what I would probably do, I would go so far outside the box, I would probably back the horse that hasn't run for 665 days in Hayden. Purely because looking at it, it was highly regarded. Obviously, it's had setbacks. I think it's changed yards as well, hasn't it? I think since last time. Clearly, whatever it does today is going to be a benefit to it, and we'll move forward going on. But if now's the time to catch Lord North short of form and short of work, you're going to get it now. You'd like to think Military Order is probably a good price, isn't it? With race on its side, I would do something wild. I'd probably wait until the off and see what price you can get on the machine, and have a small play. Win only, Aiden, obviously, because there's only 4 runners, 5 runners, whatever. Really don't care.
Love that. I appreciate that. I like that. I'm same in your boat. I've not even looked at it. I'm not, I do like the flat and I will get stuck into it, especially Ponte, local track. But other than that, I'm not really too bothered about this race. But so I'll have a couple of quid on Military Order. And if you lads get us beat, then you can always give me it back out in pints when I next see you.
Oh, yes.
So that's got the flat fix for the guys who listen to that. If you enjoyed that, fair play.
That was good, wasn't it?
Oh,
That was fantastic.
Richard
Genuinely fell asleep with my eyes shut, but fair play. I'll tell you what, it's absolutely kicking off in this chat. But anyway, that's it for tonight's race. What we'll do next is then.
Sorry, I'm trying to comment, but all I'm saying is, John, you can only beat what's in front of you, mate. And let's be honest, if you watch that run back, did John Joe move a muscle on Iroko? I don't know about you, but I think the lactic acid was building up in his body. He didn't move a muscle, did he, all the way around?
I tell you now, as much, John, you might like, but I tell you now, Apple away would never be Iroko over fences. No way in a million years. The only thing is, though, they'll never face each other. The problem is, she wants more than 3 mile, probably heavy ground, and Rocco's a 2.5 miler with all that speed that he's got chasing. I think they'll never turn up against each other. So it's a hypothetical argument. You can go back to the Aintree form all day long as much as you want. That's like people who, they want a trophy for second or something. You know what I mean? Oh, we won. You were beat you 10 years ago, or whatever. But yeah, go on, Leroy. You got something to say?
No, mate.
Can I just say one thing? This is like saying John Bon is better than El Fabiolo because he beat him. Was it at Aintree they ran?
Yeah.
Yeah, that John, we've heard that one before. It's exactly the same. Anyone can back me up on that one, surely.
That's why we love the game, right? Opinions.
Anyone agree?
This is why you're right there, Leroy. It's all a game of opinions. It's great, and it's good to have debate, and it will always stay, good debate. Well, no one will ever get nasty. We can all stick to the horses we like, and that's what it's all about. Liv will protect Iroko with a life. You know what I mean? She'll come at you with a knife if she could do. So, John, don't ever go near Malpass, will you? You'll have a group out for you. But no, like I said, they'll never face each other. It's not going to happen. I do think Iroko's a grade 1 chaser in the making. I think he'll get there. I don't think Appleway will, but you never know. She might turn up in summer. But we shall see. Right then,
depending on Iroko, we're either going to grow and boom if he wins, or we'll be cancelled.
Well, I say, I'll happily cancel the pod forever if Iroko don't win. But he's going to win a race. He'll win a grade 1 race. If it ain't Cheltenham, he'll run well, and he'll probably go win at Aintree or something like that. But
fingers
crossed. I think he's a top class animal, and fences are the making of him. So we shall see. Right then, so we'll do the anything else, and then we'll finish on our naps. Rich, you've normally got a length as long as your arm. If you go through Southwell card now, I'll kill you. But have you got anything else you'd like to mention?
What about Maidan? Can I go through Maidan? Is that
no, hang on.
Only 2.
You've been muted, Rich.
Only got 2. Only 2 this week. So tomorrow at Exeter, Nichols has got a nice horse out in the 4:45 called Joyo Allen. Is it?
Joyo Allen.
Yeah, I think we had Lorcan on. He mentioned that as a nice horse to follow. Be interested to see what he does. I imagine there'll be no sort of price. I've not checked, but I assume there'll be odds on. And then Saturday, Kempton, 4:10. Golden Sun is out, who, as we know, finished second to Iroko.
Imagine he wins.
Imagine. Cobden's on board. I mean, they've gone with some headgear just to try and focus him up. But yeah, it'll be quite interesting to see how he does. Hopefully, he can boost the Iroko form. And they're the only 2 that I've got for you this week.
Fair enough. Joe, have you got anything else?
Yeah, mate, I've got one in the 5:5 at Southwell. Spartan Army, Alan King, David Probert. Trust me, this horse won so easily last time. He only won by a neck, but if you watch the race back, he won a lot more comfortably than that. It was off a decent layoff. He comes here off, I think it might be top weight or one off top weight. Yeah, it's one off top weight. Trust me, just have a bet on it. Trust me, he wins.
The Probert double.
Oh yes. Oh,
yes.
and the 5-4 Southwell. No, I'm joking.
You take it, mate, now. People want to get off. Leroy, that's what you've got. Anything else you'd maybe like to mention that you got your eye on, or if anything you've backed?
Yeah, the Ida at Newcastle. I love that race. I think you've probably got even money that 4 horses will finish in this. Newcastle, heavy ground, 4 and a bit miles.
It's certainly a slog.
Yeah, I really like Flower of Scotland. I was disappointed that it wasn't on the running order because this would have been my second big one after Blackjack. I really like Flower of Scotland. You're going to need something that is going to stay forever. Local, they usually target these kind of races, don't they? The local trainers. Yeah, I would back it at 4-1. I think it's 6, 7, 8-1 at the minute. I back it at 4s. Probably a mug each way bet as well, to be fair. But yeah, great racing rate. I think it's 10 stone 8. Sean Quinlan's a good jockey. Sandy Thompson knows what he's doing. Flower of Scotland. The NB.
I love that. And you can blame Rich for not putting him in running on. Instead of putting a nice race like that in, he stuck an all-weather absolute yak of a race in there. But yeah.
Well, if you not try off this week because she was a bit poorly, you could have done it.
I just work well, Rich. You've got to look after me when I'm not well. I've got to be nursed back to health.
You look fine to me.
He was when he was down in that line.
It's my other end that don't look fine.
Oh, too much information.
Anyway, so we'll go for a nap. And if you want to mention your charity bit, you can. But we'll go for you, Joe. What's your nap of the weekend?
My nap of the weekend is Secret Squirrel in the 3 o'clock.
Rich, what's your nap?
Khalif de Burley.
Oh, 2 losers right there. Can't believe it. Come on then, Leroy. What is your nap of the weekend? I
will go with Blackjack Magic.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there, mate. I'm gonna nap him as well. I think him. I do like as well. She'd probably be my MB, but I do think Blackjack Magic. I'll go with him. Takes all the beating, and I'm going to obviously we do a charity bet. I don't know if you want to do one for your own charity or anything like that, Leroy. But I'll the one I said earlier. I'm going to do the each way double Arclight Blackjack Magic, and we have a $5 each way on that, and we'll try and play it a little bit more conservative as we were this time. I know a couple of us. I think Gav had a decent one if he'd have placed, but yeah, last week I'll do Arclight and Blackjack Magic each way. What about you, Joe? You got a charity bet this week, or do you want to just wait to put it up? What do you want to do?
I believe my charity is sitting on £55 or something. I need to get it up. We need a strong bet. So for me, it's a £10 win on Joyo Allen tomorrow. Secret Squirrel and Blackjack Magic, the treble.
Chuffing hell, the treble. I'm loving that. I say what mine is, but I end up putting more in. But go on, Rich. So you got one this week?
Yes.
Please put military order in, please.
No, he's not putting that in because he knows he might not win.
No, I'm tempted. It's one of those. Do I go big or conservative? That's the
big. Go big. I mean,
big. Oh, I'll go big.
You're not going to land a 600-odd-pound treble like me, but.
Okay, I'm going to go for Joyo Allen tomorrow, military order, Khalif de Burley, and Blackjack Magic. Is that 4? Is that a 4-fold?
Yeah, I feel so sorry for your charity. They must be pulling up trees when you're putting people like Khalif in. But yeah, go on.
No, just that. Is that 4-fold? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4-fold.
Well, I might put lump sum in mine as well and make it a treble then.
No,
and then Joyo Allen as well. Oh my God, it's going to keep going. I'll put it up on Saturday. It'll end up being massive. Leroy, I don't suppose you want to do any sort of charity bet or anything like that?
Yes, mate. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll carry on the Blackjack Magic train. I'll have Blackjack Magic and Flower of Scotland each way double.
That is brilliant. Nice. I love that. And you could put it up on Twitter and whatever charity you choose to go for. Then fantastic, and hopefully it comes in. Right, guys, that's it for another show. So thank you, everyone, for coming in and watching and commenting. The comments have been pretty funny tonight. Liv and John, hope you've finished on good terms. But, yeah, it's been another good show. Leroy, you've been brilliant. I've really enjoyed having you on, and we probably will get you on again, actually. I think you've absolutely smashed it tonight. Have you enjoyed it?
Loved it, guys. Yeah, thanks very much for having me on. Keep up the good work. Thursday night, nothing else to do, is there? So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, none of us have got other lives to do. We like doing
exactly.
this.
No, it's been excellent, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, mate, and you've been brilliant, like I say. So we might try and sort something else with you again down the line. Joe and Rich, looking forward to a big weekend then. And any last words?
100%, mate. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Like I say, when you're talking through it, there's some very, very competitive races. And yeah, Leroy, I think you've been spot on, mate. You've got some very, very good points, and yeah, definitely have you on again, mate. Spot on.
Yeah, it's same as Joe said. It's some good racing. Hopefully, we can land a couple of winners. Great to have Leroy on here. Knowledge is spot on. So, fingers crossed, we have a good weekend.
And a final word: the flat is back.
Nearly.
It's not. Liv's put on here. Leroy, you've smashed it. Well done. Yeah, it's been class. I'm going to back your double as well. I think that's a right double. That Flower of Scotland and the other one, Blackjack Magic. So yeah,
James will be back on
can...
the racing next time, won't you? The
you
list.
what?
You were doing the list next time, won't you?
Yeah, I'll be doing the run through next time. Don't worry, I will be back on 100%. So I apologize if I've been a bit of a wet lettuce this week, but I'm just a soppy sod. What's John put here before we go? Leroy knows his stuff. He certainly does. You've done brilliant, mate, and we'll definitely look at getting you on again. But yeah, hopefully a big weekend. Hopefully the charity bets land and we have some good winners. And like I say, enjoy the weekend. Keep bets responsible. Enjoy the racing. And last word is, see you what, we're back on Monday for the last Cheltenham show. The last Monday night show, and then we'll be doing a Cheltenham preview. That'll all get announced in sort of the next week or so. So look forward to that. And my final words is Irocco wins the Turners. Apple away is rubbish. See you later and goodbye.
See you later.